So if you know me well, you'll know that I love using thunder and lightning effects all the way throughout my films. I don't know what it is, I love thunderstorms so much. They just give that epic, powerful, atmospheric feeling. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can implement these flashes of thunder and lightning all the way throughout your scenes. And it is so easy. It's the most simple tutorial I've probably ever done. You can do it on any software. All it is using color grading in certain parts of the image. So easy. Combined with them sound effects, it is just a recipe for absolute power, mate. And today's video is sponsored by Artlist. I'm going to tell you about their amazing sound effects challenge that they've got going on. Up to $10,000 worth of filmmaking equipment to be won. I'm not kidding, mate. Artlist, I love them so much. They do so much for small filmmakers. They do so much for the industry and like us people down at the bottom who are like solo shooters. So Artlist, thank you very much. Talking about them later, but for now, let's go straight over to Premiere Pro. You can be using any software as always. I don't just do tutorials just for you lot on Premiere Pro. I'm going to do it for all of you because, you know, we're about that. Anyway, what's going on, you lot? I hope you're all sweet. So this particular film is Create Without Limitations. All the way throughout this film, I used thunder and lightning strikes because I felt that it really kind of amplified the atmosphere in the film. It gave that more intense tension throughout, and it also helped tie different scenes together. You can see how I used kind of overlays combined with some thunderstorm flashes and the sound effects, and it just allowed the scenes to kind of cut together nicely. So I'm going to show you how you can do that today. This particular shot right here is the one that I want to focus on because it's probably the hardest one to do, and it's pretty damn simple as it is. So if you can nail this one, you can nail bloody any of them. So let's go through frame by frame so that you can see exactly how I've implemented them kind of localized flashes, right? So check out the right hand side. You ready? Boom, flash. We keep going. The whole sky now flashes, right? Next one, look on the left hand side. Oh, we go on the right actually. So bottom right, top right, look at the left, flash, right. See, it's so easy. It's simply just these localized little flashes, and they only work when they're combined with them sound effects. Oh, I love it so much. It builds so much tension and builds that energy up, and that's what we want. I think that a lot of elements actually give off emotion, like calm, sunny days give off a certain feeling, a certain emotion. Fire gives off this kind of epic power, kind of fiery atmosphere, and then you've got these intense thunderstorms that can kind of give off a real mood, a real nastiness almost. So that's why I love using them so much, and it actually helps tell your story if it makes sense for your story anyway. But some people just like to use them because they look sick. Maybe I'm guilty, maybe not. So right here we've got that simple shot without them flashes on. Now I'm going to show you how you can implement them beautiful little flashes really, really easily. So we're actually going to get ourselves an adjustment layer. Let's drag an adjustment layer over the top of our shot. That is going to be the layer that we're going to do all of our effects to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a Lumetri color, and I'm simply going to build little localized areas that I can increase the exposure on. So right now I've got my Lumetri color. I'm going to let's grab a circle for now, and over here, where do we want to do it? I want to do it about halfway through, so let's do it about here. So I obviously do not want to select the trees. I just want that sky above. Now we can select mainly the highlights anyway, which is going to do most of the work for us. But if I can avoid getting them trees, that would be great. Now let's select that bottom half right there of the clouds. Now the reason I'm selecting the bottom half is because if you actually look at how light and lightning works, it usually strikes at one location first, then that light rebounds off of other things. So I want to try and recreate that right here. So as you can see right there, I'm going to go down to my basic correction after I've built that little, the little mask, and I'm going to increase my exposure by let's go 1.7. Right, I'm going to leave that there at 1.7, and obviously I'm going to feather this off ever so slightly. Now that is my exposure increased. I don't particularly want my trees being highly exposed, but to be honest, that doesn't look too bad. So if you want, you can bring your shadows down ever so slightly to kind of bring them trees back down, depending on what you're working with. But for me, that isn't really an issue. Now, I'm going to go back up here to my mask path. I'm going to select a keyframe right there on my mask path and also my opacity, because obviously we want it to flash. So on that particular opacity mask, I'm going to go 1 frame previous, bring my opacity down to 0. Now, if you watch, and I move through the frames, obviously we get that flash. We only want that flash to last in one place for 1 frame. So once I've gone from that 0% up to my 100% frame, the next one is going to be a 0 again, right? So that we're only flashing on that 1 frame. Next up, I now want to move where that flash comes from. So if you look right here, I've obviously got the original mask. Now I'm going to choose the upper part of that cloud right there. Lightning always looks much better on clouds because lightning doesn't just show up on skies. So try and keep it to your clouds. You can like just flash the sky, it still works. As long as you've got the sound effect on there, you don't really think about it too much, you just know there's a flash. So now that we've got that second keyframe, make sure you're using your keyframes, otherwise this isn't going to work. Let's give that a go right there. And then on this one, we're actually going to bring it back up to 100%. So originally we brought it back down to 0, but now we go from being down here, flash, to flash up here, right? Then the next one needs to be 0%. So let's play that back real quick. Boom, we got that flash in there. Really simple. It allows that flash to go from the bottom of the clouds to the top because obviously light travels and then it rebounds off of different things and it gives it more of a realistic look. And then obviously further down the line, we're gonna wanna do the exact same thing over on the other side. So let's bring this mask, like this mask is messy right now. I'm sure you lot can do a much better job of your masks than this. Right, so let's just bring it in nice and close. We obviously do not want the tree. Damn, this is a messy ass mask, but it will allow you to just understand how damn easy this is. So what I want to do is I'm going to come back over to my keyframe. We've got a 0, bang. Next, we're going to bring that up to 100. Damn, I actually do need to increase the feather on that because that is a bit rough. So something like that. Then actually, you know what? I don't even need to do a second one over there. That one's fine. So let's play that back now so that we can see the jump between the two. And you know what? Just for the fun of it, I'm going to add another one in there so that you can kind of get it a bit more dramatic. So let's go. Boom. It's that damn simple. How fun is that? So now we need to do the real work, which actually makes that believable, which is adding on them sound effects. Now you'll see down here, I've got my thunder sound effect. So let's get that thunder sound effect on and let's play that through with the actual sound effect on this time. That makes such a big difference. If you get them sound effects right, it's just gonna look so good. So this will give you a really good idea of how I use sound effects throughout my videos. This particular video, believe it or not, wasn't actually that sound effect heavy. This particular track that I used was so dynamic and it really helped tell my story. So I didn't wanna kind of push the sound effects too much because I didn't want it to overwhelm the track. The track was actually allowing the story to unfold and it was delivering a lot of emotions that I wanted it to deliver. So I didn't go too sound effects heavy, but it does show you just how important those sound effects are. They really pull you into the scene. And obviously I get all of my sound effects from the guys over at Artlist. And while we're talking about sound effects, let me talk quickly about the sound effects challenge that they've got going on that you can win up to $10,000 worth of filmmaking equipment. I'm not kidding, that's probably, no, it's not more than what I've got, but I've not got much more than that. So to enter, all you've got to do is upload a carousel onto Instagram and tag Artlist in it with 3 different videos. The first video is going to have just the music playing with your video. The second one is going to have just the sound effects playing along with your video. And the third one is going to be the music and the sound effects combined. These kind of videos absolutely bang on Instagram anyway, so I think it's probably worth doing. Even if you want to use like a video that you've made previously and you've still got the timeline there, cheeky little screen record, you could be in for the chance of winning 10 bags worth of filmmaking stuff. Who can say no to that? I'll make sure I leave a link in the description so that you can go and check that out because I'm going to be all over the gram checking them hashtags because Honestly, you lot put out the most banging stuff. I find some absolute sick creators just by looking at some of these challenges. So don't be surprised if I leave you a cheeky little comment. Anyway, people, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope that you found this super simple. It's such an easy tutorial. And obviously, people, I'll be catching you lot in the next one, mate. Bosh!